In the cold silence of deep space far beyond the last human colony, a lone freighter drifted through the star-speckled dark. Its hull was scarred, its engines humming with tired effort, and inside the cockpit sat Luna Cruz. She was 28 with tired eyes and a sharper mind, wearing a patched flight suit and boots that had seen better days. Her ship, the Iron Sparrow, was small and stubborn, just like her. She flew solo routes most pilots avoided, chasing credits where no one else dared look. That day, she was scanning the outer edge of the Veil's maw, a swirling nebula known for swallowing signals and ships alike. It was dangerous, unstable, and mostly empty, perfect for someone trying to disappear or find something no one else wanted. Luna wasn't running, not exactly. She just didn't have anywhere else to go. Her last contract had fallen through. Her savings were thin, and the silence of space felt safer than the noise of people. Then, without warning, a signal cut through the static. It wasn't human. The frequency pulsed in slow rhythmic waves like a heartbeat wrapped in starlight. Luna frowned, adjusting her headset. Standard distress calls were sharp, urgent, coded. This was different, softer, older, almost musical. Curiosity tugged at her. Against her better judgment, she locked onto the source and steered the Iron Sparrow toward it. 20 minutes later, she found it. Floating in the debris field of a shattered moon was a vessel unlike anything she'd ever seen. It wasn't metal, not really. Its surface shimmered like liquid obsidian, shifting colors as light touched it. Deep blues, silvers, hints of violet. No markings, no comms array, no visible thrusters. It looked more like a dream than a ship, and it was drifting, dead in space, trailing faint sparks like dying fireflies. Luna circled it twice, scanning for threats. Her sensors showed no power, no life signs, no weapons hot, just silence. But that signal kept playing, steady and calm as if waiting. She sighed. This is either the dumbest or bravest thing I've ever done. She suited up, grabbed a mag tether, and stepped out into the void. The airlock hissed shut behind her. Space stretched endlessly in every direction, cold and indifferent. She jetted toward the strange ship, boots magnetizing to its hull with a soft click. There was no door, no hatch, just smooth, seamless surface. She ran her gloved hand along it, and the moment her fingers made contact, the ship responded. A seam appeared. Light poured out, warm and golden like sunlight through ancient trees. The opening widened into a corridor that spiraled inward, glowing softly. Luna hesitated only a second before stepping inside. The air was breathable, clean, crisp, with a faint scent like rain and crushed herbs. Gravity pulled gently, enough to walk without floating. The walls pulsed faintly as if breathing. She followed the corridor deeper, heart pounding, hand resting on her sidearm. At the center of the ship, in a chamber shaped like a half-bloomed flower, stood a single figure, tall and slender, draped in silver robes that seemed woven from moonlight. The woman faced away. Her hair was long and pale, almost white, flowing down her back like a river of frost. Beside her, curled on the floor like a sleeping cat, was a small dragon. Its scales were black as night but shimmered with tiny sparks of blue and gold. Its wings were folded tight and its breath came slow and steady. Luna cleared her throat. "Hello." The woman turned. Her eyes were the color of storm clouds over deep water, gray, shifting, full of things Luna couldn't name. There was no fear in them, only exhaustion and something older than time. She studied Luna without speaking, as if seeing not just her face but every choice she'd ever made. "You answered the call," the woman said. Her voice was quiet, melodic, with an accent Luna had never heard before. It wasn't human, but it wasn't alien in a frightening way. It felt familiar, like a song half remembered from childhood. "I did," Luna said, keeping her tone even. "Who are you?" "I'm Silva," the woman replied, last of the veiled kin. "And this is Ember." She gestured to the dragon, who opened one eye, a bright, intelligent amber, and gave a soft puff of smoke. "Veiled kin." Luna shook her head. "Never heard of you." "Few have," Silva said. "My people are gone, scattered, erased." Luna glanced around. "Your ship's dead. You're stranded. Why send a signal if you didn't want help?" Silva's gaze didn't waver. "I did not send a signal for help. I sent it for a pilot." "A pilot?" Luna raised an eyebrow. "You don't look like you need one." "I need one who can fly through the Veil's maw," Silva said. "Not just navigate it, survive it. My ship requires a bond, a human mind clear and strong to guide it through the storm." Luna snorted. "You're asking me to fly your magic spaceship through a cosmic hurricane because What you can't do it yourself, I can, Silva said simply. But I am wounded. My strength fades, and the ship will not obey a dying hand. Luna crossed her arms. And what's in it for me? Silva stepped closer. The air around her hummed faintly. Safe passage. Credits beyond counting, and a chance to see what lies beyond the veil. Luna laughed, but it was hollow. I've heard that before. Usually right before someone tries to sell me a fake map to a dead planet. I offer no map, Silva said. Only truth. If you refuse, I will not stop you. You may leave. But know this, the veil's maw is closing. Soon no ship will pass through it again for 1,000 years. And what waits on the other side matters to more than just me. Luna looked at Ember. The little dragon tilted its head, then stood, stretching its wings. They were larger than they looked, translucent, veined with light like stained glass. It walked toward her, sniffed her boot, then sat back on its haunches and blinked slowly. Something about that gesture, so calm, so trusting, made Luna's guard drop just a little. Why me? She asked. Silva smiled faintly. Because you came. No one else did. Not in 3 cycles. You are either very brave or very desperate. Luna didn't answer. She thought of her empty accounts, her broken comms unit. The way Earth felt like a memory she couldn't quite reach anymore. Maybe she was both. Fine, she said. I'll fly you. But I'm not signing up for anything crazy. No secret missions, no suicide runs. Silva nodded. Only the journey. She led Luna to the ship's command chamber. A circular room with no controls, just a wide window showing the stars and a raised platform in the center. Stand here, Silva said. Luna stepped onto the platform. The floor warmed beneath her boots. Silva approached, holding out her hand. Her palm glowed faintly with silver light. To pilot this vessel, we must link, Silva explained. Just for a moment. Your mind will guide the ship. Mine will show it the path. Luna hesitated. Is it safe? It is necessary, Silva said. Luna took a breath and placed her hand in Silva's. The world vanished. For a heartbeat, Luna wasn't Luna anymore. She was starlight and wind, memory and fire. She saw cities of crystal rising under twin suns, heard songs sung in languages with no words, felt the weight of centuries in Silva's grief, and beneath it all a thread of warmth, Ember's presence steady and bright like a heartbeat in the dark. Then it was over. She gasped, stumbling back. Her hand tingled. Silva looked at her, eyes wide with something like surprise. You felt it, Silva whispered. Felt what? Luna asked, voice shaky. The bond, Silva said. It should have been faint. A whisper. But with you, it was a shout. Before Luna could ask what that meant, alarms blared outside the ship. Red lights flashed along the walls. Covenant patrol, Silva said, her voice hardening. They found us. Luna's blood ran cold. The Iron Covenant, the human-led military force that hunted non-humans across the galaxy. If they boarded this ship, they'd kill Silva on sight. And Luna, she'd be labeled a traitor. Can we run, she asked. Only if you fly, Silva said, stepping onto the platform beside her. Now. Luna didn't hesitate. She closed her eyes, reached for that strange connection she'd just felt, and thought, go. The ship responded instantly. Engines, no, not engines, something deeper roared to life. The floor trembled. Through the window, stars stretched into lines as the vessel shot forward, diving toward the swirling chaos of the veil's maw. Luna's hands weren't on controls. She didn't need them. The ship moved with her thoughts as if it had always known her. Silva stood beside her, one hand on the wall, the other resting lightly on Ember's head. The dragon's eyes were closed, but its scales glowed brighter with every second. As they crossed the threshold of the nebula, lightning crackled around them. Gravity twisted. Time seemed to stutter. Luna gritted her teeth, focusing, holding the course steady. She could feel the ship straining, could feel Silva's strength pouring into it, could feel Ember's fire burning in the core, and then silence. They were through. The veil's maw lay behind them, a storm of color and fury. Ahead stretched calm space, dotted with unfamiliar stars. Luna let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. We made it. Silva looked at her, and for the first time there was something like wonder in her eyes. You did more than fly, she said softly. You carried us, Luna frowned. What do you mean? Silva hesitated, then spoke carefully. In my culture, to share the bond with a pilot, it means more than partnership. It is a vow, a joining of fates. Luna's stomach dropped. A vow like what Silva met her gaze. If I die, you die. If you fall, I fall. Our lives are now one thread. Luna stared at her, stunned. You didn't tell me that before. I did not know it would happen, Silva admitted. The bond is rare. It chooses, not us. Ember chirped softly, nudging Luna's leg with its snout. She looked down at the little dragon, then back. Days passed in the quiet hum of the ship. Luna learned its rhythms, the way the walls dimmed when Silva slept, how Ember's scales pulsed brighter when danger neared, how the air smelled faintly of ozone before a jump. She also learned that flying the ship was nothing like piloting the Iron Sparrow. Here, thought-guided motion, intention-shaped speed. She didn't press buttons. She imagined curves in space, and the vessel followed. Silva rarely spoke, but when she did, her words carried weight. She told Luna fragments of her past, of a home built from living crystal, of songs that could heal wounds, of a war that began not with weapons, but with fear. Humans, she explained, had once traded with the veiled kin. Then came the Iron Covenant. They called elves unnatural. They called dragons abominations. And they burned everything that did not fit their narrow view of life. Luna listened. She didn't argue. She'd seen enough of human cruelty to know Silva wasn't exaggerating. One evening, or what passed for evening in the endless dark, Silva stood at the observation window, watching a dying star flicker in the distance. Ember curled at her feet, wings tucked close. We are being followed, Silva said, not turning. Luna stiffened. How do you know? Ember feels their engines. Cold, sharp, like broken glass. Luna checked the rear sensors. Nothing, but she trusted the dragon more than the machine. How far? Close enough to strike within the hour. Luna moved to the command platform. Where can we hide? Nowhere, Silva said. The Veil's maw is behind us. Ahead is open space. They will corner us. Then we fight, Luna said. Silva finally turned. Her eyes were tired. This ship was not made for war. It is a vessel of memory, not destruction. Everything can be a weapon if you're desperate enough, Luna replied. Silva studied her for a long moment. Then she nodded. Very well, but you must do exactly as I say. They prepared in silence. Silva placed her hands on the wall, whispering words that made the ship's inner light shift from gold to deep red. Ember rose, stretching its wings until they brushed the ceiling. Tiny sparks danced along its spine. What do I do? Luna asked. Fly, Silva said. Just fly. I will handle the rest. Minutes later, 3 Covenant destroyers dropped out of warp behind them, sleek, black, bristling with cannons. Their comms crackled to life. Unidentified vessel. Power down and prepare for boarding. You are harboring a known non-human threat. Luna didn't answer. She pushed the ship forward, weaving through debris from an old asteroid belt. The Covenant ships followed, faster, heavier. They are locking weapons, Silva warned. I see them, Luna muttered, banking hard to the left. A blast of plasma seared past the hull, close enough to rattle the deck. Ember let out a low growl. Its eyes glowed. Now, Silva said. She raised both hands. The ship's core flared. From hidden seams along the hull, tendrils of silver energy lashed out. Not to attack, but to disrupt. They wrapped around the nearest destroyer's engines, scrambling its systems. The ship spun wildly, colliding with its partner. Luna used the chaos to dive toward a gas giant below. The 3rd destroyer stayed on her tail, firing relentlessly. They are too fast, Luna said through gritted teeth. Then make them slow, Silva replied. Luna understood. She angled the ship toward the planet's upper atmosphere, where thick clouds and magnetic storms would blind sensors. The Covenant ship followed, arrogant in its pursuit. As they hit the cloud layer, Luna cut all external lights and killed the main thrusters. The ship went dark, drifting like wreckage. The Covenant vessel overshot, scanning frantically. Hold your breath, Silva whispered. Luna did. Ember closed its eyes. For 10 long seconds. There was only silence. Then, the Covenant ship turned, scanning again. Its search beam swept over them, and passed right through. They cannot see us, Silva said. The ship is cloaking in shadow, but only for a short time. Then let's not waste it, Luna said, easing the thrusters back online. They slipped away, silent and unseen. When they were clear, Luna slumped in relief. But Silva's face was grim. They will not stop, she said. They know we are heading for Ashara. Ashara, Luna asked. A dead moon. once sacred to my people. There is something there we need. What? The whispering stone, Silva said. It holds the last echo of my ancestors. And it can awaken Ember's true power. Luna looked at the dragon. It was panting slightly, its glow dimmer than before. He's tired. He is bound, Silva explained. His fire is sealed. To unleash it fully, we need the stone. Without it, he is only a shadow of what he can be. Luna nodded. Then Ashura it is. They traveled for 2 more days. During that time, Luna noticed something strange. Whenever she and Silva stood near each other, the air between them hummed. Her dreams were filled with silver forests and falling stars. Once she woke to find Silva watching her, not with suspicion, but with something like sorrow. Why do you look at me like that? Luna asked one night. Silva hesitated. Because you are changing. Changing how your pulse matches mine now. Your breath syncs with Ember's. The bond is deepening. Luna rubbed her arms. Is that bad? Not bad, Silva said. But dangerous. If the Covenant captures us, they will not just kill us. They will try to break the bond. And that would be worse than death. Luna didn't ask how. She didn't want to know. Finally, Ashera appeared on the view screen, a gray, cratered moon hanging in the void like a forgotten bone. No atmosphere. No signals. Just silence. They landed in a wide basin near the ruins of what must have been a temple. The structure was half buried, its spires cracked but still beautiful in a haunting way. As they stepped out, Ember stayed close to Luna's side, its claws clicking on the stone. The air was dead, but Silva walked as if hearing music. She led them through broken archways, down staircases carved with symbols that shimmered when touched. Deep below the surface, in a chamber lined with black crystal, sat the whispering stone. It was no bigger than a human heart, floating in the center of the room, glowing with soft white light. As they approached, voices filled the air, not loud but layered, like many people speaking at once in a language just beyond understanding. Silva knelt before it. This is where my people stored their final memories, their hopes, their warnings. Luna felt a pull in her chest. It's calling to me. Silva looked up, surprised. It should not. Only veiled kin can hear it clearly. But Luna did hear it. Faintly, yes, but clearly enough to understand one word. Together. Before she could speak, alarms blared in her mind, not from the ship, but from the bond. Danger. They're here, Luna said. Silva stood. Already outside, engines roared. Covenant dropships descended, black as oil against the pale moon. Soldiers poured out, armored and faceless, weapons raised. We don't have time, Silva said. You must take the stone. Me, why? Because the bond chose you, Silva said urgently. The stone will not answer to me alone. It needs both of us, and you are the bridge. Luna didn't argue. She stepped forward, reaching for the stone. The moment her fingers touched it, warmth flooded her body. Images flashed. Silva as a child, laughing under twin suns. Ember hatching from a star-forged egg. A human hand reaching out in friendship, then turning to strike. She gasped, pulling back. I saw your betrayal. Silva's face darkened. Yes, by one of your kind. Soldiers broke through the chamber doors. Guns aimed. Now, Silva shouted. Luna held the stone high. Silva placed her hand over Luna's. Ember roared, flames bursting from its mouth. Not red, but pure blue. The stone exploded with light. Energy surged through the chamber. The Covenant soldiers froze, their armor cracking. The dropships outside sputtered and died. The very ground trembled, and Ember grew. Its wings stretched wide, filling the room. Its scales blazed with starlight. Its eyes held galaxies, but the power came at a cost. The ship above them, their only way off Ashara, began to shake. Luna felt it through the bond. The core was overloading. We have to go, Luna yelled. They ran, Ember flying ahead, clearing a path with bursts of flame. They reached the ship just as the temple collapsed behind them. Luna threw herself into the command platform, Silva beside her. The stone clutched tight. Get us out of here, Silva said. Luna focused, pushing the ship upward. It groaned in protest. Systems flickered. Warning lights flashed. The core is unstable, Luna said. It can't handle the energy from the stone. Silva looked at her, eyes full of pain and resolve. Then we must stabilize it. How? Silva took Luna's hand again. By deepening the bond fully. Luna's heart pounded. What does that mean? It means joining not just our fates, but our lives. Our breath. Our blood. If we do this, there is no going back. We will be one, not just in danger but in everything. Luna looked at Ember, now curled in the corner, watching her with knowing eyes. She thought of Earth, of loneliness, of flying alone for so long. Then she looked at Silva, proud, broken, beautiful, and knew the truth. She had never been alone since she stepped onto this ship. "Do it," Luna said. Silva closed her eyes. She pressed her forehead to Luna's. The stone floated between them, pulsing like a heartbeat. Warmth spread through Luna's veins. Memories that weren't hers filled her mind. Songs, rituals, the taste of moonberry wine, the feel of wind through crystal leaves. And beneath it all, a love so deep it scared her. When it ended, Luna opened her eyes. The ship was calm, the core steady. Outside, the stars seemed brighter. Silva smiled faintly. "You are no longer just my pilot," Luna exhaled. "What am I now?" The dreadnought hung in space like a blade waiting to fall. Black and jagged, it blotted out the stars. Its name was the Iron Will, and it carried the Grand Marshal of the Covenant, the one person Silva feared more than any weapon. Luna felt the weight of it in her bones. The ship's hum grew tense. Ember paced the deck, tail twitching, eyes fixed on the view screen. "We cannot fight that," Luna said quietly. "No," Silva agreed. "But we do not need to. Not yet." She turned to the whispering stone, now resting in a cradle of woven light at the center of the command chamber. Since the bonding on Ashara, the stone pulsed in time with their shared heartbeat. It had shown Luna more than memories. It had shown her truth, and one truth stood out above all others. The Grand Marshal was coming for them, not just to destroy Silva, but to claim Ember. The Covenant believed the dragon held the key to controlling all non-human life. They wanted to break him, study him, turn his fire into a leash. "We must go deeper," Silva said, "into the ruins beneath Ashara. There is a chamber the stone showed me, a place of final rites. If we perform the awakening ritual there, Ember can reach his full form." "His full form?" Luna asked. "He is not just a dragon," Silva explained. "He is a Starheart, born from the core of a dying sun. His true power can shield entire worlds, or shatter fleets." Luna looked at Ember. The little dragon blinked up at her as if understanding every word. "But the Covenant is already here. They'll follow us down." "Let them," Silva said. "The ruins are protected. Only those with the bond can pass." So they landed again, this time near a collapsed archway half buried in ash. The air was still, the silence heavy. As they stepped out, the ground trembled, not from engines, but from something older. The moon itself seemed to breathe. They walked for hours through tunnels carved from black stone. Walls glowed with faint runes that brightened as Silva passed. Luna felt the bond pulling her forward, like a thread tied to her soul. Ember flew ahead, lighting their way with soft blue flames. Deep below, they found the chamber. It was circular, open to the sky above, with pillars shaped like twisted trees. In the center stood a pool of liquid light swirling slowly. The air smelled of rain and burnt sugar. "This is where my people performed their last ceremony," Silva said, voice thick with grief. Here they sealed Ember's fire to keep him safe when the war began. Luna knelt by the pool. Her reflection shimmered, but it wasn't just her face. Silva's features overlapped hers as if they were already one. "What do we do?" Luna asked. "You stand in the pool," Silva said. "I will chant the old words. Ember must fly above us. The stone will guide the energy." Luna didn't hesitate. She stepped into the light. It was warm, like sunlight on skin. As she stood waist-deep, Silva began to sing. The song had no words Luna recognized, but she felt its meaning in her chest, a call to awaken, to remember, to rise. Ember took flight, circling the open sky above the chamber. His wings beat slowly, each flap sending ripples through the air. The whispering stone floated from Silva's hands and hovered over the pool. Then the visions came. Luna saw Silva's city burning, saw human soldiers dragging elves from their homes, saw a young girl, Silva, hiding in a vault as the world ended around her. And then she saw the betrayal, a human woman with kind eyes and a gentle voice offering help, then handing Silva's family over to the Covenant for a bag of credits. The woman's face was clear, too clear. Luna gasped, stumbling back. "No," Silva stopped singing. "What is it, that woman?" Luna said, voice shaking. "I know her." Silva went very still. "How her name is Maya Rodriguez. She was in my flight academy. We were friends. Before she left after her family died in a skirmish near Proxima." Silva's eyes darkened. "She told me her name was Elena." But her eyes, Yes, it was her. Luna's stomach twisted. She's the Grand Marshal now? Silva nodded slowly. Grief turned her heart to stone. She believes all non-humans caused her pain, so she destroys them to feel safe. Before Luna could respond, the ground shook violently. Dust rained from the ceiling. Outside, engines roared. They found us, Luna said. Silva looked up at Ember, still circling. We are not ready. We have to be, Luna said, stepping fully into the pool. Finish the song. Silva took a breath and began again, louder this time. The stone glowed brighter. The pool's light rose, wrapping around Luna like a second skin. Ember dove down, landing on the edge of the pool, and let out a roar that shook the pillars. Energy surged. Blue fire erupted from Ember's mouth, not as flame, but as liquid light. It poured into the pool, mixing with Luna's reflection, with Silva's song. With the stone's pulse, Luna cried out as the power filled her, not burning but transforming. She felt her bones hum, her blood sing. She saw memories that were not hers, of flying through nebulae, of speaking to stars, of loving Silva across lifetimes. And then she saw Maya, not as a monster, but as a broken woman, standing alone on the bridge of the Iron Will, staring at a locket with a faded photo of her parents. Her hands trembled. Her eyes were dry, but her soul was screaming. Luna understood then. Maya wasn't just hunting elves. She was running from her own guilt. The ritual reached its peak. The pool exploded upward in a column of light. Ember rose with it, growing, changing. His scales turned to living starlight. His wings stretched wide enough to shade the moon. His eyes held the calm of deep space. The awakening was complete, but the cost was immediate. The ship above them, their only home, shuddered. Alarms blared in Luna's mind through the bond. The core was failing. The energy surge had overloaded it. We have to go, Luna shouted over the roar of power. They ran, Ember flying beside them, his new form too large for the tunnels. He melted stone with his breath to clear a path. Behind them, Covenant soldiers poured into the ruins, firing wildly. Their bullets turned to ash before they reached Ember's light. They reached the surface just as the ship listed sideways, smoke trailing from its hull. Luna leaped into the cockpit. Silva followed, breathless. Ember coiled around the ship's frame, his presence stabilizing the failing systems. Can we fly? Silva asked. Barely, Luna said, hands on the platform. But we have to try. She pushed the ship upward. It groaned, metal screaming. Half the engines were dead. They rose slowly, painfully, as Covenant dropships swarmed around them. Ember unleashed a wave of blue fire. It didn't burn, it unraveled. The dropship's weapons melted into harmless dust. Their engines stalled. The soldiers inside fell unconscious, not dead, but dreaming. The Iron Will loomed ahead, cannons charging. They're going to fire, Luna said. Then we give them something to aim at. Silva replied. She turned to the whispering stone. Use it, she told Luna. Not as a weapon. As a mirror. Luna understood. She focused on the stone, on the bond, on the truth she'd seen in Maya's eyes. She poured all of it into the ship's broadcast system. A pulse of light shot from their vessel. Not destructive, but revealing. It washed over the Iron Will, over every Covenant ship, over every soldier in range. And for one moment, everyone saw what Luna had seen. Maya, on her command deck, froze. The locket fell from her hand. Tears, real tears, streamed down her face as she saw her parents' faces not in memory, but in the eyes of an elf child she had betrayed. She saw Silva's grief. She saw Luna's loyalty. She saw the cost of her war. The cannons powered down. Silence filled the void. Luna held her breath. Silva gripped her hand. Ember's light dimmed slightly, waiting. Then, a single word crackled over the comms. Stand down. It was Maya's voice. Broken, changed. The Covenant fleet began to retreat. Luna let out a sob of relief, but Silva's face was grim. She will not forget this, Silva said. But she may not forgive herself either. They limped away from Ashara, the ship barely holding together. Ember curled around them like a living shield, his warmth keeping the failing systems alive. In the quiet that followed, Luna looked at Silva. What now? Silva leaned her head on Luna's shoulder. Now we heal, and we prepare, because Maya may have stopped today, but the Covenant is larger than one woman. Luna nodded. She looked at Ember, now sleeping peacefully. His light soft and steady. She thought of the bond, the stone, the shared breath that now felt as natural as her own heartbeat. She had volunteered to be a pilot. She had become so much more, and for the first time, she was not afraid of what came next, because she was not alone. She never would be again. Weeks passed in the quiet dark between stars. The ship, though damaged, held together thanks to Ember's steady presence and the strange harmony of Luna and Silva's bond. They drifted through forgotten systems, avoiding major trade lanes, listening to whispers on the edge of comms channels. News of the Covenant's retreat from Ashara spread like wildfire. Some called it a miracle, others a glitch. Only a few knew the truth. Luna spent her days repairing what she could, studying the ship's living systems and learning the old songs Silva hummed while tending to the Whispering Stone. Silva, in turn, taught her the language of starlight, the way elves read fate in the movement of galaxies, how they named storms and mourned dead suns. Ember grew quieter, his fire now a constant warmth rather than a weapon, but his eyes never lost their watchful gleam. One night, as they orbited a nameless ice planet, Luna found Silva standing alone in the observation chamber, staring at a star chart that shimmered in the air like mist. "You're worried," Luna said, stepping beside her. Silva did not look away. Maya Rodriguez did not surrender. She retreated. "There is a difference, come she saw the truth," Luna said. She cried. "Grief does not always lead to change," Silva replied. "Sometimes it leads to rage, and rage seeks revenge." As if summoned by the words, the ship's sensors chimed softly. A signal, encrypted, human, and urgent, broke through the static. Luna recognized the frequency. It was an old Academy emergency channel, one only top graduates knew. Her blood ran cold. She played the message. Maya's face appeared on the screen. She looked older, thinner, her eyes shadowed but clear. She wore no uniform, only a simple gray tunic. Behind her, the Iron Wolf floated in dry dock, half its hull scorched. "Luna," Maya began, voice rough. "If you're hearing this, you survived Ashara. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I need you to know, the Covenant is not done. The High Council stripped me of command after I called off the attack. They called me weak, traitorous. They've activated Project Eclipse." Luna's breath caught. Silva stiffened. "Project Eclipse," Silva whispered. "The final purge," Maya continued. "They've built a weapon. A gravity lance powered by stolen elven cores. It can collapse entire star systems into black holes. Their first target is the Veiled Kin's ancestral homeworld. They think it's empty. But they're wrong. Survivors are there, hiding, waiting." She paused, swallowing hard. "I tried to stop them. I failed. But I found something else. The location of the core vault. If you destroy it, the lance cannot fire. It's on Helios 9, deep in Covenant space. I'm sending coordinates. I won't ask you to trust me. Just don't let them erase your people, Silva. Or mine." The message ended. Silence filled the room. Luna looked at Silva. The elf's face was pale, her hands clenched. "Helios 9 is a fortress. No ship has ever returned from there." "Then we'll be the first," Luna said. Silva turned to her. "It is a suicide run." "Maybe," Luna said. "But if we do nothing, millions die. Including your people. Including anyone who doesn't fit the Covenant's idea of human." Ember padded into the room, nudging Luna's hand with his snout. His eyes glowed softly as if agreeing. They prepared in silence. Luna rerouted power from non-essential systems, reinforced the hull with Ember's starlight, and synced the ship's mind with her own until thought and motion were one. Silva wove protective runes into the walls, chanting old words that made the air hum. The Whispering Stone pulsed steadily as if holding its breath. 3 days later, they dropped out of warp near Helios 9. The planet was a nightmare of steel and fire. Orbital platforms bristled with weapons. Patrol drones swarmed like angry insects. At the planet's north pole, a massive spire pierced the clouds, the core vault. "We cannot fight our way in," Silva said. "We don't have to," Luna replied. "We go in quiet." Using the last of their cloaking energy, they slipped past the outer defenses, hugging the planet's magnetic field. They landed in a dead zone, a canyon where sensors failed due to mineral interference. From there, they would go on foot. Ember shrank his form slightly, wings folding tight, scales dimming to dull gray. He could not hide his presence completely, but he could mask it. They moved through the ruins of an old mining town, now overgrown with rust and silence. Covenant patrols passed overhead, their boots echoing on metal walkways. Luna led, her pilot's instincts sharp, her bond with Silva guiding every step. Deep beneath the surface, They found the entrance to the vault, a circular door sealed with biometric locks and energy fields. Only a high-ranking officer can open it, Silva said. Luna pulled a small device from her belt, the data chip Maya had sent with the coordinates. It contained a stolen command code. She inserted it. The door hissed open. Inside, the vault was cold and vast. Rows of glowing cores floated in stasis fields, each one pulsing with faint elven light. Stolen hearts. Stolen lives. At the center stood the main core, the one that powered the gravity lance. It was larger than the others, cracked but still active, humming with dangerous energy. We must shatter it, Silva said. But the moment we do, alarms will sound. The whole base will lock down. Then we move fast, Luna said. Silva placed her hands on the core. She closed her eyes and began to sing, a low, mournful song that made the other cores flicker in response. Ember stood guard, eyes scanning the shadows. Luna watched the door, heart pounding. Then, footsteps. Heavy, fast, armored. They're coming, she whispered. Silva's song grew louder. The main core began to crack further, light leaking from its seams. The door burst open. Covenant soldiers flooded in, weapons raised, but they were not alone. At their head stood a woman in black armor, Maya Rodriguez. Luna froze. Maya's eyes locked onto hers. For a moment, no one moved. Then Maya raised her hand. "Stand down," she ordered her troops. They hesitated. "That's an order," she snapped. Slowly, the soldiers lowered their weapons. Maya stepped forward, removing her helmet. Her face was streaked with dirt, her eyes red-rimmed. "I knew you'd come," she said to Luna. "I hoped you would." "Why are you here?" Luna asked. "To finish what I started," Maya said. "The council thinks I'm dead. I sabotaged the Lance's targeting system, but the core must still be destroyed or they'll rebuild it." Silva stopped singing. She faced Maya, her expression unreadable. "You betrayed my family." Maya dropped to her knees. "I know, and I will carry that shame until I die. But I cannot undo the past. I can only try to stop more pain." Ember growled low in his throat but did not attack. Luna looked between them. The woman who had broken Silva's world, and the elf who had rebuilt her own. She made a choice. "Help us destroy the core," Luna said to Maya. "Then maybe there's a chance for something new." Maya nodded, tears falling. "Thank you." Together, the three of them placed their hands on the core. Luna, Silva, and Maya. Ember wrapped his tail around them, his fire joining theirs. The core shattered. Light exploded through the vault. Alarm screamed. The ground shook. "Run!" Maya shouted. They fled, Maya leading them through secret tunnels she had mapped during her time as marshal. Behind them, the vault collapsed, taking the gravity lance's power source with it. They reached the surface just as the Iron Will, now repurposed as a rebel ship, dropped from orbit, weapons covering their escape. Luna's ship waited in the canyon, engines hot. They boarded in seconds. Maya stayed behind for a moment, watching the burning vault. Then she turned and ran. As they lifted off, Helios 9 erupted in chaos. Explosions lit the sky. The Covenant's weapon was dead, but the cost was high. During the escape, a blast had struck the ship's rear section. The core destabilized again. Worse, Silva collapsed, blood trickling from her nose. "The bond," she whispered. "It's tearing." Luna felt it too, a sharp pain in her chest like a thread snapping. She grabbed Silva's hand. "No, not now." Ember roared, pouring his energy into the ship. Maya, now aboard, worked frantically at the controls, rerouting power. "We need to jump," Maya said. "But the coordinates are unstable. If we miscalculate, we'll be torn apart." "Do it," Luna said. Maya entered the command. The ship lurched into warp. For a moment, everything went white. When they emerged, they were deep inside a solar flare, a river of fire and plasma near a dying star. The ship groaned, systems failing one by one. Silva's breathing grew shallow. Luna's vision blurred. "Ember," Luna gasped. "Give us your fire." The dragon did not hesitate. He opened his jaws and released a stream of pure blue flame, not outward but inward into the ship's core, into Luna and Silva's joined hands. The bond flared back to life, stronger than before. The ship stabilized. Outside, the solar flare raged, but around them, a bubble of calm formed, woven from starlight. Memory and sacrifice. Maya stared in awe. "What? What is this, a second chance?" Silva said weakly, leaning into Luna. Luna held her close. She looked at Maya, then at Ember. then at the endless fire beyond the window. They had faced death and chosen life, together. The solar flare burned around them like a cage of fire, but inside the ship there was calm. Silva's breathing steadied. Luna's hands stopped shaking. Ember curled around the command platform, his light pulsing in time with their shared heartbeat. Maya sat quietly in the corner, watching as if afraid to speak. They had survived Helios 9. They had broken the Covenant's weapon. But the war was not over. The High Council still ruled. Fleets still hunted, and now they knew Luna and Silva were alive and dangerous. "We cannot stay here," Maya said finally. "The flare will shield us for now, but sensors will find the energy signature eventually." Luna nodded. "Where do we go?" Silva lifted her head. Her eyes were clear but tired. "Home. Your homeworld," Luna asked. "Yes," Silva said. "The place the Covenant plans to destroy next. It is not empty. My people are there, waiting, hiding in the crystal caves beneath the surface." Maya frowned. "If we go there, we lead the Covenant right to them. Not if we make them think we are already gone," Luna said slowly. An idea formed in her mind, a risky one, but the only one that made sense. "We send a message. Not to the rebels. To the entire galaxy." Silva understood first. "The truth wave." "What is that?" Maya asked. "A broadcast," Silva explained. "Not of words, but of feeling, of memory. The Whispering Stone can send it through every comms channel, every neural link, every ship in range. It will show everyone what really happened. The betrayal, the pain, the hope." Maya looked at Luna. "You want to show them me, my guilt? My change?" "Yes," Luna said. "Because if they see that even the Grand Marshal can choose differently, maybe others will too." Ember chirped softly, as if agreeing. They prepared quickly. Maya used her old clearance codes to patch into the galactic network. Silva placed the Whispering Stone in the center of the chamber and began to chant. Luna stood beside her, hand in hand, opening the bond wide. This time, they did not hold back. The broadcast began. It started with Silva's childhood, running through crystal forests, laughing under twin suns, learning songs from her mother. Then came the fire, the screams, the betrayal by a human with kind eyes, then Luna's memories. Lonely nights in a freighter, the moment she chose to answer the signal, the first touch of the bond. Then Maya's truth, her parents' faces, the weight of her choice, the tears on Ashara, the shame on Helios 9, and through it all, Ember's presence, steady, ancient, full of quiet strength. The wave spread faster than light. It reached human colonies, alien outposts, rebel bases, even Covenant warships. Soldiers dropped their weapons. Commanders stared at their screens in silence. Children asked their parents why anyone would hurt someone so beautiful. On the Iron Council's flagship, the High Commander watched the broadcast and wept for the first time in 40 years. On Earth, protests erupted. People demanded peace, demanded justice. The Covenant fractured. Within hours, half its fleet stood down. The other half turned on the Council, calling them monsters. But Luna and Silva did not wait to see the fallout. They jumped to warp, heading for the Veiled Kin's homeworld, a planet called Illyria, hidden behind a veil of stardust and old magic. When they arrived, the sky was calm. No fleets, no weapons, just silence. They landed in a wide valley where crystal trees grew toward the sky, their leaves chiming in the wind. Figures emerged from the caves, elves, thin and wary but alive. They bowed when they saw Silva. Some wept. Silva stepped out of the ship, Ember at her side. Luna followed, feeling the weight of their gaze. One elder approached. "You returned," she said to Silva. "And you brought a human." Silva took Luna's hand. "She is not just human. She is my partner. My other half." The elder studied Luna, then nodded slowly. "The bond is real. We can feel it." Maya stayed near the ship, not daring to step forward. But Silva turned to her. "You are welcome here too. You chose to heal, not destroy." Maya's eyes filled with tears. She walked forward and knelt, not in submission but in respect. Days passed in quiet healing. The elves shared food, songs, stories. Luna learned to weave light into cloth. Silva taught Maya the old ways of balance. Ember played with elven children, his fire warming their games. But peace was fragile. One evening, a scout returned with news. The remaining Covenant loyalists, led by the High Council, were gathering for one final strike. They would burn Illyria from orbit no matter the cost. "They will not stop," Maya said grimly. "Not until they are all dead or we are." Luna looked at Silva. "What do we do?" Silva's eyes were calm. "We face them. Not with fire, with truth." They flew the ship into orbit just as the Loyalist fleet arrived. 20 warships, black and hungry. The High Council's flagship led the charge. Luna did not arm weapons. She opened the comms. "This is Luna Cruz," she said, her voice clear across every channel. "And this is Silva of the Veiled Kin. We stand together, not as enemies, as partners. If you fire on us, you fire on the future you could have." Silence. Then the Council's voice crackled back. "Lies. Tricks. You will not weaken our resolve." Silva stepped forward. She held the whispering stone high. Ember spread his wings, his light filling the ship. "Then feel it," Silva said. They sent one last pulse, not of memory but of possibility. A vision of humans and elves building cities together. Of dragons guarding peaceful skies. Of children learning songs in 2 languages. On the Council's flagship, the crew turned on their leaders. Mutiny spread like wildfire. The fleet broke apart. Some ships fled. Others powered down. A few joined them. The war was over. In the weeks that followed, peace talks began across the galaxy. Maya became a voice for change, using her name to rebuild trust. The elves slowly emerged from hiding. Ember was named guardian of the new alliance. But Luna and Silva knew their path was different. One night, they stood on the observation deck watching the stars. "They will need us," Luna said. "Not as soldiers," Silva replied. "As symbols." "But symbols cannot stay in one place." Luna smiled. "So we go." "Yes," Silva said. "Into the Veil's maw. Beyond known space. There are other worlds, other bonds waiting to be made." Ember nuzzled them both, his light warm and bright. They boarded the ship one last time. Maya stood on the ground, waving. The elves sang a farewell song that echoed through the stars. As they flew into the swirling colors of the Veil's maw, Luna felt no fear, only peace. Their ship vanished into the storm, not as fugitives, but as guardians. Their story became legend whispered among pilots and dreamers. The human who volunteered to be a pilot and became a partner for life, and somewhere, in the deep dark between galaxies, a ship with silver wings still flies, carrying 2 souls and 1 dragon forever bound by choice, by courage and by love that defies even death.